What's this guide to get good at Renekton? I'm Wicked. I'm a challenger player that used to play Renekton a ton. I played him in professional play, I still play him sometimes in solo queue, and I'm gonna start picking him up now again because he's starting to get really good right now, which is why I'm making this guide for you guys. Alright, let's get into the runes. The first thing you want to look at is you want to have Conqueror. Some people do take Press to Attack, but I think Conqueror is better, and I think it's a minority that's taking Press to Attack. Second, you want to have Triumph. Then third, you want to go for Legend Alacrity because it feels awesome. You could go for Tenacity as well. Both of them are really good. I prefer the attack speed because it just feels better than you playing the game. Having a nice attack speed is nice, but Tenacity might be slightly better, but it feels a lot worse, so it's not as enjoyable. The last one, you want to have Coup de Grace if you're looking to kill people, and you want to have Last Stand if you're looking to have even fights with people where you want to have a small edge in them. I personally think Last Stand is slightly better in almost all situations. It's very rare that I go for Coup de Grace, but if you're dominating the opponents and if you think you're really good at your laning phase, then you can go for Coup de Grace. In the second tree, we are going for Demolish and Bone Plating in most matchups. Yes, you can go for Second Wind if people are poking you a lot. They're not doing multiple hits in a row, but it's like one hit, one hit, one hit, for example like Kennen. But most of the time you just want to go for Bone Plating and you want to fight the opponents. Now we get to the small runes, and this is an interesting part because, again, I will opt in for attack speed. I like attack speed, it feels good. But AD, Adaptive Force, is actually better in this case, and it is going to give you higher win rates. So it all depends. If you can feel comfortable playing with less attack speed, then you're better off taking the AD. So you want to go AD, then you want to have AD in the second one as well, and the last one you want to have whatever fits against the enemy composition. So I mean, if you're against people that auto attack you a lot, you want to go for the armor. If you're against people that do a lot of magic damage, you want to go for magic resist. If you're against people that do mixed damage, you want to go for the health. It's not that important whichever you take here. It doesn't actually matter in the last one too much. Now let's get into the item builds. And I said earlier in this video, Renekton is good again, and here is why. Blade of the Ruined King is back. It's stronger than ever. It's extremely powerful. Gives you 12% damage when you hit people as a melee compared to range, which is only 8%. And then with your W, it works wonders. Now, what you want to have is you want to rush Blade of the Ruined King. Then second, you might want to get boots depending on what you're playing against, like upgraded ones, else you want to have tier 1 boots. And then you want to go for Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver combined with Blade does a ton of damage, it scales really well, and it fits together wonderfully. And then the third one, if you're not taking that much damage, and you're actually able to sustain the enemy's damage, for example, let's say they don't have that much damage, but they have a lot of supportive champions, and the fights are kind of long, they might have tanks, then go for Death Stance. But if they have burst champions, they have Syndra, they have other things that are just going to nuke you down, get the Staircase Gates, it's going to be wonders for you. You will need the extra tankiness just in case. And after that, you can go the next one of those two items we already talked about, you can just take the other one. Or you can go for Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel is also amazing, especially against burst champions, because you get a second life, which is wonderful, right? You could also opt in for Spirit Resets if they have mainly magic damage, that works. It all depends what you're against. Now let's do a quick summary of Renekton's abilities. So basically the passive is your Fury stacking, it's your rage bar. If you play World of Warcraft, you know what a rage bar is. Every single attack, you get 5 rage. If you're low on health, you get 50% more, which is 7.5. You also get rage from abilities, and so on. After 12 seconds, you're going to lose rage per second if you're not in combat. So remember to stay in combat if you can, and keep up your rage. Rage is extremely important. It enhances all your abilities. Let's get into the Q. Q is your main ability. It's also the first one you skill up. Q does a ton of damage. It heals you, and if you have full rage, it heals a lot more. So you want to try and see if you can get rage and use this ability. It's amazing. The second one is your W. That's a stun. It's a melee range stun, but it has 50 more range than your auto attack. So slightly longer, which means you can attack people, and then you can use your W and combine it together when they're trying to run away, right? It stuns them depending on your rage. So if you don't have any rage or less than 50, then you are going to stun them for 0.75 seconds, and you do 2 auto attacks. If you have 50 rage or more, you're going to stun them for 1.5 seconds, and you're going to do 3 attacks. Third one, you slice and dice. It's basically a jump. If you hit something, you can jump again, so it's a double jump. If you do hit 2 things and you have rage, then you reduce the enemy armor by 35%. That is amazing. You want to look at doing that, because that is your bread and butter in teamfights. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people neglect it, but it's really important that you hit those second E's on the enemy team if you have a lot of physical damage, because 35% armor reduction is nuts, and it's for 4 seconds. Some teamfights don't last more than 4 seconds, right? That's huge. And then your last one is your ultimate. The ultimate does give you a ton of health. It gives you a small area around you where you do magic damage every half second. 20, 40, 60. It actually adds up and it becomes quite a lot. And you become super strong doing this. Also, you increase your size and you get 25% bonus rage, which is awesome. and it gives you a little bit further than you activate it. Now let's get into Renekton's skill order, and Renekton's a fun champ because his skill order is very unique. If you need to play passive because you're against something like a Kennen, then you want to start with Q, then you skill E second, and third you skill the W, because you need the survivability from the Q. You might even go Q further as well and skip the W and then get W at level 4. Now, if you're playing a meta where you're playing very aggressive, for example against a Riven, you can go Q or W level 1, W is more aggressive, Q is more safe, and then you can skill the other one second, and then you go your E third, so you don't need your E that early because you can put more pressure by having the other abilities. So it all depends what you want to do in the laning phase. You got to figure out, am I going to play super aggressive and skill according to that? Or am I going to play safe and skill according to that? Q and E are safe early, and W is super aggressive, so just skill according to what you think you need in your laning phase. Renekton's unique and fun champ because you have a lot of auto attack animation cancels. Now what you want to do is, the first one is use auto attack W. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Nothing special about this one. The second one is Q auto, also nothing special, it makes it a little bit faster. Then afterwards you get into something more interesting right now. The first one I want to show is the E, Q, auto attack E, so you end animation cancelling your Q. Alright, what's right here? Look how fast that is. You can do it even faster if you perfect it. Mine wasn't perfect there. But you can do that even faster, and that's already fast. I got in an E ability, got my Q, I got an auto attack, and I got another E in. Alright, so next one, you can animation cancel your ultimate and your W. So what you want to do is W, ultimate, and then you E out. Here goes W, and then ultimate and the E. I managed to use all my abilities in almost no time. This adds a lot of damage. If you want to all-in people, it's extremely good to do, because it gives you a lot of damage potential. Now the last combo I want to show you guys. This is a combo that can be used aggressive. A lot of people don't ever use this aggressive, but it should be used aggressive as well. And some people do use it passively. For example, if you want to escape a gank, or if you're ganking somewhere and you're like, oh shit, there's 3 people here, let me get out of them. You can use this one. So you W and then you flash. I'm using the first one aggressively because I like playing aggressive and think that's how it should be used. But you can also use it passively. So what you do is you click on the enemy, you stun them, and then you flash away instantly. And you can flash during your animation.